In this part of the video, I actually want to answer the question, why was it a mistake for England to play a back three in this game? And you can argue why it made sense to play a back three. But I'm going to take the side of it was not the right way, because even before this game I had been vocal against the usage of a back three formation by England. And the reason was not because I thought a back three is a defensive formation, because I saw the Dutch play it in a very fluid way. I also saw various teams in this tournament play the back three formation in a very convincing attacking fashion. So the back three formation is not necessarily the problem, but England's interpretation of the back three was, for me, the problem. England didn't show their best face when playing the back three. I guess that's what I wanna kind of like stretch down that path and like elaborate on that. When England played the back three, they did look very solid against Germany. However, it was excruciatingly painful to watch them play the back three, because they couldn't be dangerous once they won the ball. So they were trying to play counter-attack football, which made sense because if you have a strong defense, you can lean into it and then hit your opponents on the counter-attack. For most of that game against Germany, their counter-attacks were nullified and they were not effective. Now it works late in the game, and they scored 2 goals, one by Sterling that breaks the game open, and then Kane scores much later in the game, like closer to the end, and fine, they get away with using the back three there, but it was not a good watch. And I remember saying this several times in some of my earlier videos. So I don't think it was wrong of England to play in a back three system because they lost the game. I just think it was wrong for them to play in the back three system because they looked much better and much more fluid and balanced in terms of their attacking in comparison to their defensive play in relative to their offensive play looked much better. Whereas with the three at the back, they're just not enough players who can keep the ball and secure it for longer periods of time, and so they ended up just exposing their defense, which was in control. Even in the final, they were in control. I just think though they leaned too much into one of their strengths instead of using a little bit more of their strengths. So what I mean by that, if you are, I think, a back four with a double pivot of any combination of either Rice and Phillips and even the little kid Jude Bellingham or the Liverpool captain Jordan Henderson, any one of those 4 guys, you put them in front of Maguire and John Stones, they are a competitive defensive unit against anybody in this tournament, and they would have been. And that should have been enough, especially with what you would have gained by playing a link player in between the lines and not leave Sterling or whomever was playing on the right, in this case Mount, with too much to do. Because the two in midfield were not very... they're strong athletes, but they're just not strong at ball progressing. I know Calvin Phillips plays in a different role for Leeds, and then he can ping those balls, but that's because he has a lot of runners. So Leeds playing normally a 4-1. So Phillips is the guy lying deep, and he can ping. He's got 5 people to pass the ball to in that Leeds system, and sometimes the fullbacks go up too. So that means he has 5 plus 2 to hit the ball to, and that's great. But if you're giving Phillips against smart defensive teams like the Italians the job to find one of like 3 players, that's too much. And so that's why for me the back three for England was not a good strategy to lean into.